Hey, welcome to the Grassroots Champions podcast, episode 3. On today's podcast in youth soccer, we're talking about rec soccer origins and parent coaching.
And on the pro side, I'll be discussing things of the week and then Game of Thrones hypotheticals.
In extra time, I found some dope goals for us all to watch and be mesmerized by. And in the scouting report, will Nate see the World Cup in 2026 in the U.S.?
The plan is to go to New York City, but if I win the ticket lottery, I'll probably be seeing Norway versus Ghana.
We're going to see. Good luck, Nate.
What makes recreational soccer so exciting to the parents, to the players, to the coaches? We're going to talk about that.
Yep, and you can leave it in the comments right now. If you're a current or past rec participant at any level, let us know what was your favorite part of rec soccer. All right, Nate, last time you left us with kind of a cliffhanger. Your boys are going to Chicago with TCSL reps. Tell everyone how that went.
So, yeah, the boys did really well. The 2012 team won all 3 of their games, including a first game score of 12-1, which is pretty awesome. We only conceded 2 goals the entire weekend, and the 2012 girls also went down there and won all 3 games too. Shout out to the 2012 girls.
Let's go. Hey, representing the Midwest quite well, huh?
We did pretty well. It's nice to see Minnesota showcase, some of their talents.
Yep. And I asked TCSL for comment, and they said that the 2012 boys in particular were very fun to watch, very exceedingly good team. So, Nate's guys are a big part of that.
Thanks. Yeah, really strong team. Hopefully we can come back and do it again next season.
Nate, that sounds like a lot of fun. I had a different kind of fun, kind of the other end of soccer. He saw some really high-end soccer. I got to see 2 weekends of our recreational program. So I was watching the coaches, observing as much as I could. And actually, in our youth soccer segment, we're going to be talking about soccer parenting. And we have a former head coach, former rec coach, former DA U7 and 8 Development Academy coach, former assistant coach, current soccer dad. He's right there. Nate Confer.
Thanks. So yeah, I've been coaching since Aiden was a U4 player back in Ramsey. And I coached all 3 boys all the way through from their U4 experience to their U8 DA experience at Blaine Soccer Club. And then a little bit of assistant coaching until they moved on from that.
Yep. Some background. Nate was actually my assistant coach for L&L's team at U9. They were playing up as U8s. Great time. We got to know each other quite well.
We had a lot of fun, a lot of banter.
It was the COVID year, though, so we didn't get to see it all the way through. You have a project for your team for the year, and you want to see it all the way through. So things got in the way, but we made it through.
Still had a fun year, yeah.
So Nate, starting as a rec soccer dad/coach, we use parent volunteers for our recreational program. I was wondering, what have you learned since then, or along your coaching journey, and what do you think was the most important?
Those are good questions. For me, some of the things I learned was, not every team is Barcelona coming out onto the soccer field. And so I had to treat kids kind of like the age that they were. And so a lot of the times we'd discuss, their favorite things, whether it's like their favorite flavor of ice cream or their favorite superhero. And then I would implement that later into the training by saying, well, you're Iron Man. And in order to defeat the bad guys, I forget his name right now.
I don't know.
Sorry, Marvel fans. I'll get back to you. But ball goes in the net. Bad guy is defeated. That kind of thing. Your favorite ice cream. Your foot is the spoon. The soccer ball is the vanilla. Put your foot on the ball. That type of stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then kind of the most important thing I learned was to keep it fun. Competitive always comes later. And so a lot of the things I did at U8, I was just talking to my boys tonight. And Lucas had mentioned playing sharks and minnows.
Classic.
It's always a fun one. For those of you who don't know, there's sharks in the middle. And then the minnows have to dribble the ball through the zone and get through before the sharks gobble them up. So
classic game, and actually a lot of layers to it if you do it right. And that imagination that you talked about, I think that's huge for kids because they don't quite see, I'm kicking this ball into the goal. Yeah, that's kind of fun, but kind of what's the point? I just did that little thing. But if you can make it like, oh, okay, we have to return the shopping cart to the shopping cart thing. That's an adult one. But yeah, and you mentioned the imagination to make it fun, right? The players don't always understand the tactics of the game or kind of why we're learning what we're learning, but you can disguise it as an ice cream cone or you're playing red light, green light, another classic game, and you have the kids start their engine or their ball is their car, and you have to bring your car across. right? So having that imagination is huge for kids to kind of trick them into playing soccer, right? They don't get just the soccer
Yeah.
part. And we watch pro soccer, like you said, we watch Barcelona and everyone, but the kids don't get it yet. They just see it as, I want to have fun playing the game. So that imagination is a huge part of it to keep them interested.
Yeah, it's a lot of, dribbling, shooting, trapping, but without the ideas of it. And so it keeps the kids entertained,
Is
but
there
also
any
at the same time developing their skills.
was there any other game that you think is like a classic that you used to coach and rec?
Well, here's a fun one for you parents. Peter Pan, if you have the audacity to do it, you participate as Captain Hook, and all the kids are Peter Pan and the Neverland Pirates, and they have 60 seconds to hit you with their soccer ball.
What?
Yeah. You can use the entire boundary as your opportunity to escape, but you gotta stay within the zones. But as long as you can avoid a soccer ball hitting you, you escape with the loot.
Yeah, that is a classic game. I never heard it be called Peter Pan before, but some kids like Peter Pan. Some, I think I was at Soccer Shots, we called it. It was like a bear game where the bear is taking the honey and you were the bees and you had to sting them with the ball by kicking coach. But yeah, sounds like a fun game.
For
For
the
the
kids.
players, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for the players, it sounds fun. Your kids obviously are doing quite well in their youth soccer. So, what are some things that you found works as a soccer parent?
So we kind of had two things that worked for us. I always had a rule for my boys, and they followed it religiously for a long time. But we always had a lot of fun being the first to show up to practice, and then the last ones to leave. And so that's when, they got a majority of their touches in. They worked on stuff that we couldn't do during trainings, stuff like that, but always on the ball. It was fun to be seen, and then we got other kids to stay with us too, or come early, and we'd run scrimmages and things like that. And then personally, I created my backyard as a kind of soccer space. And so we did a lot of things over the years. Two of my favorites being the first one, the gauntlet,
Oh yeah,
which I would have probably 30 soccer balls in the backyard, and I would just continue to roll them out, and they just struck the ball, they wouldn't even see where it goes because the next one's coming.
you call it the gauntlet because it just keeps coming at you, right?
Yeah, you can't get out of that until the 30th one's through. So they had a lot of fun, but if you've seen Aiden and Logan especially strike the ball, that's where they learned it from. So
Yeah, and did you use any kind of like incentives for them, like to score a goal or get an assist or whatever it was? Did you use any kind of incentives?
I used a financial incentive, but a very small one. So I would set up a goal in the backyard and then put cones inside the goals about 9 inches away from each post. And then if they scored a goal between the cones inside, so the bigger space of the goal where the goalie stands, they get a penny.
Okay.
And then if they were able to score it between the cone and the post, they get 2 pennies. And then if they were able to put it in off the post or in off the crossbar, they'd get a nickel.
Big moolah, huh?
Oh yeah, I was
So,
giving up almost $1 at the end of the day.
so you how long would they train and do that activity and you fork over what, like 80 cents?
Yeah, if that.
Like was that like an hour of training?
No, we were out there till dinner time. It was great.
Woo.
My
So
pockets are still full.
So, lesson for all the parents out there that want your kid to score a goal and you offer them $5 for a goal, there's better ways of doing it. If you can do soccer at home and make a home training environment, we're in Nate's basement right now and there's a soccer net right here for soccer tennis. If you make that environment at home, good things are going to happen on the field and we don't have to have that carrot on the end of the stick all the time for just what we do in the games. If you make it at home, the games will take care of themselves.
Yeah, boys have done really well with that over the years. And today they were outside for 3 hours doing goalie wars and similar games to what we did in the past.
And Nate, you went from being kind of the head rec coach as the parent volunteer, and then you were in DA, which is our U7 and 8 program for kids who want to get ready for competitive soccer. So it's with coaches who have a curriculum that the club sets. And then you were assistant coach and now full-time soccer dad, right? So what was your journey like between those and specifically maybe handing off the team to the coach and just becoming dad for a bit?
That was actually really hard for me. So I ended up getting my Grassroots licensing, which back when I did it was the F license and the E license, which is pretty simple. The F license required just a couple hours of my time. The E license was a weekend at Augsburg. And so I had always kind of prepared to take the boys along as far as I could have. But yeah, once they got to kind of that competitive stage, It was tough at first. I was still on all three of their sidelines at one point or another. But it's been the great part of it is that they've developed to like a point where they've exceeded anything that I could teach them anymore. If I have to, I have to go back and get more licensing if I want to coach my kids again, which is a pretty cool thing to have happen. And so, but as far as being dad on the sideline, like at times it can be tough. I've seen how they've played for we're going on 10, 12 years now. And, I know their style and what they can do. And you want to be able to communicate that to them. But I'm learning more and more each week to just be a dad and enjoy it.
Yeah. And, soccer's over. Youth soccer's over before you know it. I hear that from parents a lot. So there's something to be said about just being a dad, right? Just enjoying it. Knowing that you're obviously and still are a huge part of their development, right? From those early ages to still doing stuff at home too. So you always have that badge for you.
Yep. Not completely out of it yet.
Yeah, Nate, like I said, I was at rec soccer this past Saturday and the one before, filling in for our recreational director. And I was observing the coaches a lot. I was trying to see specifically which activities they did. So in our winter recreational program, it's on Saturday mornings. We do 15 minutes of training and then a couple minutes as we get ready for the games. And then it's basically two 20-minute halves. And you're playing against another rec team. So you have that training component for 15 minutes. I try to get as much data from that as I could. And then watching the games, just seeing the players enjoy it. That was a fun time.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. With rec soccer, every team brings something a little different. Every coach has their voice and, their own backgrounds, right? Because as a volunteer parent coach, not all of them have played soccer before. So It's interesting to see.
You get football dads, hockey moms.
Interesting to see what they came up with the last two Saturdays. Not in a bad way.
What did you see?
I was actually pretty impressed with the things I saw. I saw a lot of, I actually wrote down every coach's activities and I did some tallies. For the first hour, it was at 8 o'clock. There were 14 fields, so 14 coaches, and they did 36 different activities. So I stood in the middle and I was trying to mark down exactly what everyone did. Things like, a very common one was a line of players here, a line of players here. This line passes to them, they shoot it. And then you switch lines afterwards.
Interesting.
And then there were some where it's dribble and then shoot. And then the next player dribbles and shoots. There was a lot of shooting just on goal, especially to start the trainings, where the coach is kind of getting ready. Players were just taking shots on one goalie, taking turns. I saw some classics. I saw the Sharks and Minnows. Lots of red light, green light, which was really good. I actually saw the one thing I really like is the ingenuity some of the coaches have. So I saw red light, green light, but instead of going vertical and just going one direction, it was dribbling in space.
Ooh,
so
no
they're
finish line.
Using different kinds of touches. It's not just going in a straight line where you see kids just kind of run with the ball and it's a runaway train. That's what Sharks and Minnows sometimes turns into too. It's a big kick and the exact things we don't want to encourage really when we're thinking about coach's perspective, kids developing. I saw a coach do a rondo. I saw a few coaches actually this Saturday do a rondo, which I was surprised. I made a little bingo card of things I might see. Like one was a player scores 5 or more goals. Another one was, is someone going to do just one rondo? I want to see one rondo. And I saw like 7 or 8.
That's pretty impressive.
There's one coach who actually he solved the spacing problem with rondo because especially at the rec level, a lot of players will want to just go to the ball. He did it a little differently. He had 9 cones spread out, had a player on all 9 of the cones in a kind of like a cube, I guess, a square with one player in the middle, 3 players on each side. Could be 10. And then one or 2 defenders in the middle. I think he started with 1 and then had 2 defenders. And they just did a rondo where the players had to stay on their cones, which I don't really like. It's a little too static, a little too orderly. But just different ways of thinking about, where do you start? Where do you start as a rec coach, right? Because we give them resources through the coaching manual. Rush Soccer actually gives us resources in their own version of coaching manual and season plans. So they have that whole website. We give them curriculum folders, really simple things like 2 versus 1 or 1v1 or 1v1, but you start by going to a cone and back. So we get some athleticism built in too. So there's very simple games like that. What I saw though is a lot of coaches opted for more orderly activities, kind of where it was kind of suffocating, whereas too orderly. Soccer's
not orderly.
It's a chaotic game. it's a chaotic game, and our tactics, our formation, the training that makes it more orderly, but it is chaotic, right? They say that a game can change based on a single bounce, and it's true, right?
Yeah.
There's no guarantees. Nate might tell us in the pro soccer game about who is leading their league, who's maybe winning some games they shouldn't win, but it's just chaos. You can't predict it, right? So I saw lots of activities that I didn't like. The ones that I didn't like the most were too orderly, where it's that line, here's another line, there's no decisions being made. It's just pass here. This player has to shoot it, and then
The kid only needs to make one decision, right?
Yep. And that's something that we talked about at the D license, the youth license, is how important decision making is for the players. So if we go from training where it's very static and orderly, which I think the adults like to see, right?
Yeah.
Not just the coaches, they want an orderly training, but I think the parents see that too. Where we actually had two competitive coaches in this first hour, both weeks that were coaching their rec teams. Chaotic, right? It looked like chaos from kind of just a general. I'm not thinking as a coach perspective. It looked chaotic, but I was like, those are the best two trainings out of all 14 of these. These are the best two, and it was players playing against each other. It was opposed. Every player had a ball if he could help it. Maybe he had like one or two taggers or people that were going to take a ball and you have to go take someone else's. But players were touching the ball. They're moving around. Most importantly, they were having fun, right? Those players in the chaos were having the most fun too.
So I imagine a few of our viewers might be recreational or even competitive coaches. Do you have any advice that you would give to them about maybe distinguishing between order and chaos? Or
Yeah, I think specifically about order and chaos, embrace that chaos, right? You just know that the game is chaotic. It's totally okay for players not to be exactly in a certain spot, not exactly make the choice that you saw was best or you think is best, right? But they're going to make mistakes. Let them make mistakes. Let them make errors. They don't have to be perfect. Really, the main thing is, that chaos is fun. And rec soccer is all about the fun and the experience, right? It's not about the performance of the players. It's about them experiencing the game, some of them for the very first time. And you can trick them with that imagination and say, hey, no, like that ball's not scary. This is cool like hockey too. This is an ice cream cone. Here you go. And that's one way that you can make it bring a little bit of order to the chaos too. That helps. If the players are engaged, that obviously helps with their attention. That helps with players are not standing in those lines and picking their nose or kicking someone.
one soccer ball, 14 kids.
Yeah. So yeah, embrace the chaos. It's going to be more fun for them. It's going to be more fun for you too. And if the coach is having fun, probably the players are having a great experience.
And then you get more kids in competitive.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, it's time for Pro Soccer. Nate, what are the things of the week this week?
Always a fun segment to do. We had some really good ones this week. Guys, I decided between a hat trick from two different players. I had decided between a team that may have perhaps beaten the four-time current Premier League champions. And I had to decide for my flop of the week between a couple red cards or maybe a manager that's lost 4 games in a row.
Who could that be?
So, well, we'll start with player of the week. And as we all know, Vinny Jr. scored a hat trick for Real Madrid.
Is he player of the week?
No, he is not. If you guys get a chance to look, Moise Ken from Fiorentina, his third goal is pretty spectacular. And so with that, I chose Moise, and David De Gea gave him the assist on that goal too. So I have to give a shout out to David De Gea.
It's a familiar name from a couple of years ago.
Axed from Manchester United. More of that later. Goal of the week came down to a absolute stunner from Inter Milan's Hakan Çalhanoğlu. I think I got that one right.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. He always bends them from deep. Think of him as like the Turkish Beckham. And in my game of the week, guys, Inter Napoli was very good. He scored the equalizer to give Inter a point.
That was a Lukaku derby, right?
That was the Lukaku derby. 1 of 6 that we might see this season. My flop of the week goes to Pep Guardiola. Hey! Good job, Pep. That's always fun. Congrats on losing your first 4 games in a row in your entire managerial career.
Can't say too much right now as the Arsenal fan in the room, but I think we're on a good trajectory, and I like that they don't have Rodri. That's really helping, I think.
Boy, he's a sensational player.
Major.
And I think we're all seeing that the Ballon d'Or is missed.
If I speak, I get in trouble. Let's go to the next one.
Team of the week, this was tough. I had 4 nominations for that. Real Sociedad had beaten Barcelona. I think that was their first loss in 15. Brighton beat Pep's Manchester City, but can't give it to him twice. So Juventus beat their rivals in Italy, Torino. The nice 2-0 victory. But my team of the week is Ipswich Town.
Okay. You're talking about all these teams, and then Ipswich. What did they do?
Comes through their first Premier League win of the season against everybody's favorite club to beat up on, Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah. Nice
Always
job,
fun
Ipswich.
to see. So, yeah, we're all happy for you, Ipswich Town.
Good W. Way to go.
So, moving into our next segment, this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I thought it would be a lot of fun. One of my favorite television programs of all time is Game of Thrones. And
I have never seen it. I think I watched 3 episodes here and there from different seasons just when it was on. And then I heard season 8. Something happened that people didn't like, and I've been enjoying the memes, though.
a lot of good memes.
So what is the Game of Thrones theme? What are we doing?
Well, the thesis around this television program is nobody's safe. Anybody's life can end at any time.
Okay. Yeah, I heard a little bit of that. Reputation of the show.
Yeah, I know. I lost my favorite. I'm sure a lot of you did too. Put it in the comments. Who was your favorite Game of Thrones character, and did they survive to the end?
Where is this going?
So anyway, what I thought we would do with the soccer version of it is I would axe a player off of... No, not you.
Oh, okay.
Not you. I would axe a player off of every Premier League team, the most important player per se. We'll see if Charlie can figure out which one I picked for each team.
Maybe, yeah, we're going to find out. I'm interested to hear about Game of Thrones. Well, it sounds pretty violent, but...
This time it won't be. All
Nope.
hypotheticals, guys.
No players were hurt in the making of this episode.
Thank goodness. We'll start with the league leaders. I'm going to go down the Premier League table, so we'll give respect to where respect's due. Liverpool. Who would you like to axe from the
Salah.
Yeah, that one was pretty easy. I
Scores too
agree with the
much.
two. The guy, yeah, he's sensational.
They call him the Egyptian king, right?
Yeah.
Very Game of Thrones-y.
Yeah, we'll see if he can stay on the throne forever.
Stop scoring goals, man.
Manchester City still somehow sitting second at the table. Who's getting axed from that team?
I don't want to add... I don't think it's insult to injury because it's a compliment, right? He's the best player. Rodri. So he's injured.
It's 2 for 2.
He's injured,
This guy, he's
but-
doing pretty well. But I think we can all see Rodri's missing, and Man City's not top of the table anymore.
I think I get the sense, though, I don't watch their trainings, but it seems like he's a great leader. So I want him off the team. So he's not doing anything in the dressing room and motivating them or teaching them things. Get him off the team.
And you Chelsea fans can probably speak to this, but Mateo Kovacic, not Rodri.
Yeah, not quite. Different. There's levels to the game.
So, am I seeing this right? Chelsea's third in the table. Okay, who is the Chelsea player?
You know, you go on international break for 1 week, and I just completely forgot about the whole table and everything. We're back, though. We're back. Chelsea, I got to go with Cole Palmer. He scores too much. Very fun to watch. Maybe some of these guys, I think if we axe them, they might come to Arsenal, so I'm kind of hopeful, too.
Or Manchester United. I would take Cole Palmer in a split second.
Yeah, we just don't want him on Chelsea.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of fourth, the Arsenal Gunners are sitting in fourth place.
It's like the Wenger years again.
Yeah.
Top 4, we're
Back
celebrating.
and forth. Well, they lost a player that while he was there, I think Arsenal's a little higher in the table, so this might be easy for Charlie.
I'm actually going a different route with this one, since this is my team and I want us to do well. I am getting rid of Alexander Zinchenko. I like him, okay? Don't get me wrong. He's awesome as a person, not as a football player, not as a defender, not as a decision maker with his passive sometimes. So, yeah, Zinchenko's gone. No hard feelings. You're awesome. Just maybe as like a left winger or not a defender.
As someone who doesn't enjoy Arsenal, I decided that Martin Odegaard no longer needs to be a part of the playing process.
I knew you were going to do that, but it still kind of hurts to hear. He's a great guy.
and a magician. Nottingham Forest. This is a tricky one. These guys are fifth on the table. They're getting a little bit from everybody.
I'm going to have to go with Chris Wood. Again, scores too much. A lot of these are going to be guys who score too many goals, having too good of a season right now.
Goals win games. At least that's what I've heard.
But Arsenal, when we go to Dubai again for that shooting training that we do and we come back and score goals every year, you'll see. You'll see.
Climbing up the table slowly. My pick for Nottingham Forest was actually the playmaker. Wolves gave him away for nothing. Morgan Gibbs-White, who's done a really good job creating chances for that team. Moving to sixth, Brighton, Hove, and Albion. Is that 3 teams or just one?
Brighton, Hove, and Albion. I have to go with Mitoma.
Mitoma, that one's pretty easy too. In fact, when I was asking my kids earlier, they said Mitoma as well. You take that guy off the team, they're in 15th.
Yeah, and it's not that he necessarily scores all the goals, but he just creates so many chances that Brighton win games.
Yeah, and the Amex Stadium rocks when he's on the ball.
Yep, great touch, great dribbler, fun to watch. Sorry, I don't want to axe you, but
We gotta do what's best for our clubs.
Yeah.
I'm looking at another one that's strange. I thought we'd be talking about my club, Manchester United. We're talking about Fulham, the Cottagers.
Fulham. Again, this is an Arsenal pick for me. I know you probably have a different answer. I'm going to axe Emile Smith-Rowe. I want him back at our club.
He almost tricked me because I too axed a former Arsenal player.
Iwobi?
No, the man in goal. There he is. Burton Leno, who spent a few seasons at Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's done really well this year.
And they have Reece Nelson. You're
Arsenal West.
You're welcome, Fulham.
When they finish in Champions League, we'll know why. 8th place is Newcastle. Number of players that we could axe from their team. They got a pretty well-rounded roster.
I'm actually going a different route with this one. Eddie Howe. Take out the manager. I think he has them playing too well. And like you said, there's too many parts to really pick. Go right for the head. It's got to be the top guy, the king.
That's actually a really good pick. Something I may have overlooked. This time I went with the guy who's scoring the goals. Alexander Isak, an Arsenal target, probably in a couple of years. Newcastle loses players, so it's bound to happen.
Yeah, Arsenal don't lose players.
Right. Unless they go to Fulham. 9th, Aston Villa, who I think was in 4th the last time we did this. Who did you axe from Aston Villa?
Former Arsenal player, but that's not why. World Cup winner. Maybe best goalie in the league. Emi Martinez, it has to be. He makes too many saves. He's, again, a talisman for his team. He gets the people going. He gets the crowd
Sure
going.
does.
He did it something at the World Cup one time to get people going. I'm talking about the save, not the other thing. The save that he made like this against France. Crazy. Yeah, he's got to go. Hopefully back to our club again.
And I'm actually going to talk about that later too, but I also picked Emiliano Martinez. This goes back to when he played against Manchester United and Bruno got a penalty 90 plus stoppage time, and Emiliano was saying something to him, and Bruno missed the penalty, and Aston Villa walked away with the point. And so that guy needs to go.
Yep, get him off the field. Or on the field for Arsenal. I'll take that. You want that energy, don't you? You want the kind of crazy goalie. They say they're all crazy, but then he reaches another level where he's kind of, I wouldn't say intimidating because I'm a fan, but I think when you're in that penalty shootout and he's yelling in your face, I'm going to eat you. I know you, brother. I'm going to eat you.
You don't want to take a penalty.
And then he's probably going to save it too. So
Probably.
insult to injury. There you go.
10th on the table. Hey, there they are. Tottenham Hotspurs.
Son. It's got to be Son.
Wing song. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Don't even address that in the comments.
You know, I don't even like talking about Spurs. So yeah, excellent.
Here we have, Brentford. That's a tough one.
Couple different directions you could go. I went with the obvious. Wissa scoring too many goals. Very dangerous. He's looking dangerous.
He's been
I don't want to play
sensational
him.
this year. What was the name of the guy who gambled? I forgot about
Ivan
him
Toney?
because it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's Ivan Toney. But Johan Wissa is also the guy I would axe too, because all he's done since Tony's left is score goals.
And no gambling problems.
No gambling problems.
Look at that.
Moving on, still not Manchester United. We are 12th place in the Premier League, and this is Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, again, maybe one that you didn't see coming. Alex Scott.
Ooh.
So he's their kind of box-to-box midfielder. does some sneaky stuff. He runs with the ball through midfield, creates a lot of opportunities. He has the pass at the end, the killer pass. He does some big switches of play to open up space. So this is me as a center mid. I'm looking at him every Bournemouth game and just enjoy seeing him play a little different than like let's say like a Busquets or someone who just loves passing. Maybe dribbles to get out of pressure. I like that Alex Scott dribbles to penetrate and dribbles straight through the heart of the other team, and then has the product at the end too. So that's my pick.
You Gen Zs might know Alex Scott as the new day Steven Gerrard.
Hey,
So,
I think he would take that.
yeah, he's a fun player to watch. I went with Legend's son, Justin Kluivert, who's snuck up and scored some goals for these guys this year. We can't have that happen anymore. And so, Kluivert, you're gone. Hey, there they are. 13th place, ladies and gentlemen. Manchester United. This is one that it'd break my heart a little bit to get rid of this one, but at the same time, probably the best thing for my club.
Who is it?
I'm going with Bruno Fernandes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's not a bad player, but you just whine a lot, bro. You gots to go.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite qualities in a player is the whining, complaining. I thought the Premier League was saying you get a yellow card for coming up, but he's the captain, isn't he?
He's the
so
captain,
he gets
so,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why every time I'm watching one of your team's games, I'm like, why is he talking so much? Should they be? How far can you go as a captain? Put in the comments. How far have you gone as a captain talking to the referee? What'd you get away with? Maybe what you didn't get away with too.
Yeah. Hopefully you won't get axed.
Mine for Manchester United, not a performance thing. Not because he's so good and he's a world beater and he's so great at soccer. It's for the memes. We got to get him back on the field. He's not playing under Ten Hag. I don't think he's going to play under Amorim. They just did it. It's Anthony. So many
Same
memes.
move over and over.
So many memes. The subbing in, the spin. You just have to. I have to get him on the field so we get more memes. That's every.
Get rid of him.
Get rid of him so he rises from the ashes like a phoenix, maybe on Fulham or something.
Yeah.
And then he just gets to play 90 minutes and really just show us what he's got.
We can see him more at Fulham. Going in 14th place, West Ham United.
Another guy who's maybe doing some dirty business sometimes. That's Lucas Paquetá. Another guy I love watching play. He's very talented. I think everyone sees that, but you're doing shady stuff. I was wondering why he's getting so many yellow cards last year. I was like, he gets like they're up 3 goals and he goes and kicks someone through both feet, 90th minute. I'm like, what is
Master
going
of the
here?
dark arts.
Yeah, some dark arts, some like the darkest of arts.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what he has going on, but leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I watch him play. Seems to have a chip on his shoulder and just do the artsy stuff, bro. You're good at that.
Yeah, no dark arts for me, Lucas. You're getting the axe. Goodbye. 15th, Leicester City. Premier League champions, 2016 Leicester City.
And there's a guy on that team, and there's a guy on the wall right now. It's gonna be Jamie Vardy. Is that who you had too?
Absolutely. The guy scored so many goals so many times to take away points from my club. It's got to be Jamie Vardy. He's probably having a Red Bull as we're talking about this, but
a player that delivers the memes though. So it was a hard choice for me.
yeah, and Didi's kind of fun too.
I'll save him. Can I do that? Can I save a player that I just axed?
You can save him.
All right,
All right, bring him back. Vardy, you're back.
He still axed you, but I'm just gonna defer.
Moving into 16th place, Everton.
This
are you?
one, there's a guy on Everton who has been playing since like 2006 when I started watching. Still playing. I think he's the captain.
You guys got to be my age.
Seamus Coleman. Dude, like go retire and have fun or something.
Don't you have a family?
Go on vacation. Become a manager like everyone else. Like, what are you doing still playing? Is he getting minutes?
I've decided to axe You're Welcome England, Jordan Pickford. You guys all think that he's cost you maybe back-to-back Euros, and so I'm going to do you a favor, and hopefully in New York I'll see an England final in 2026.
Nate, what are the little sidebar here? What are the odds of? What would you give the odds of England USA in a quarterfinal or later in the World Cup?
Oof. As much as I would love to see that, I'd probably put it at about 10-1.
10-1 that both teams would make the quarterfinal.
Both teams make the quarterfinal. I think Potch has us going in the right direction. Big win against Jamaica over the week.
But like
And
we said, soccer's chaotic.
yeah, and Tuchel's taking over England, so who knows what's going to happen there.
It's gonna be fun.
Oh, here we go. Down to the doldrums, just outside the relegation zone, Ipswich Town.
I'm gonna be honest. I have not watched them play once this season, so I'm gonna have you just ask someone, and I'll just agree.
Only one person goes. Sammy Smodic, I'm sorry, buddy. Your winner against Tottenham gets you axed. That's all I know about Ipswich, so you got to go.
Who is? Never mind. Let's move on.
Moving to 18th place. You guys got to get out of the relegation zone. We love Crystal Palace. Who are you axing from the Eagles?
Eberici Eze. I think he's too creative. Again, guy I love watching play. Just creates too many chances. I don't think Arsenal needs to. I'm not going to jinx it. Okay, I'm an Arsenal fan. I know what happens when I say we don't need to do something or win a game against someone. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to jinx it. Eze is my choice.
Yeah, I also picked Eberici. Fantastic player. Love to have him on my club. He's done more against my team than Marcus Rashford has in 2 years. And so hopefully, Eze, if you're watching, please sign with Manchester United, and I'll keep you safe.
Come on over.
Moving down to 19th, a little bit of a surprise here. Wolverhampton.
Another team I didn't watch very much. Probably because they're on the bottom of the table. But I'm going to pick Jose Sa. Every time I watch him play, I see some highlights.
Keeper.
He's making like a save he shouldn't make. He lets some in sometimes, makes some errors. But he's good for one a game where it's like, oh, if he let that one in, how'd he do that?
Maybe that's why they're down at the bottom of the table.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm axing Mateus Cunha, the Brazilian. The few times that I have watched Wolves this year, I think he's scored 2 world-class goals. And so if you're going to get relegated, you can't be scoring world-class goals. Cunha, sorry, you're getting the axe.
So are you axing him hoping that he stays up in the league with a different team?
There's some teams in the Prem he might be useful with.
We'll talk. Call me.
And last but not least, or maybe least, we have Southampton Saints.
Again, I don't think I've watched one of their games. I do have a choice, though.
Ooh.
Aaron Ramsdale. I think
Arsenal through and through this guy.
when the whole Raya Ramsdale thing was going on and Mikel was talking about subbing our goalie mid-game to do different tactics, I was like, what are you talking about? Put Ramsdale in. He's a better shot stopper. He's taller. He's good crack. He brings a fun energy to the training room, to the team, really. You know, I see all the things that Arsenal's doing behind the scenes, and I think it was an important part of the team for them enjoying it. I don't think they're not enjoying it now. But even if he comes and he's still second to Raya, come on over. He's good crack.
That's fun. Arsenal 2018 coming back to Arsenal. Charlie has any say?
We'll save you from the drop zone.
I'm selecting. He's probably the shining star of the loan transfer window back in August, but Chelsea and their 23 loans, one of them has to be good, right? And so I've selected Leslie Ugochukwu. He's a midfielder that got kind of stashed away in the Chelsea reserves, and he's actually been pretty impressive statistically for the Saints. So Ugochukwu.
Yeah, how'd you do that with this?
You got to go back to Chelsea.
Who are these people, Nate?
And then just for fun, we're going to hit up some of Europe's best before we go. We'll go down this really quick, but Real Madrid, who's next?
Bellingham.
Vinny Jr. for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, no more hat tricks. Get out. Barcelona.
Rafinha.
Ooh. I like that he gets on my nerves a little bit. I respect that choice.
I don't know Barcelona that well anymore.
Yeah, it's not your grandfather's Barcelona.
Nope.
Lewandowski, you're a BBB guy.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You left us. I'm leaving you.
Oh,
See ya.
revenge. Is there
Yeah.
a theme in Game of Thrones? Is there a lot of revenge?
There's a lot of revenge going on, a lot of plot twists,
I see
political
where his head's
maneuverings.
at. I want the memes. I want my friends back on Arsenal. Nate's like,
Get out.
yeah.
Atletico, I think this one's pretty easy. Antoine Griezmann, he's an Atletico legend. Can't have you around, buddy.
Yeah, living legend already.
Bayern Munich. This is a little bit of a tricky one.
Musiala.
Ooh, Once again, I went with Bayern legend. Musiala is a superstar, though. I went with Thomas Mueller.
There you go.
He is Bayern. So if you get rid of their identity, what do you have left? Maybe
Plus,
a German named Jamal Musiala.
yeah, for sure, good option. But then also the same thing as Coleman. What are you doing, man? Retire. You won the World Cup and stuff.
You have everything. Go away. Bayer Leverkusen.
Xhaka, I don't know, the manager.
He
Probably
did another Arsenal guy.
don't know these teams.
He's right, though. We got rid of Xabi Alonso. Before he was there, they were nothing. After he leaves, they'll go back to being nothing. Goodbye, Xabi Alonso. Leave Leverkusen alone.
Hey, if Mikel ever gets the can, let's talk. Let's talk. I think it'd fit.
I'm safe now, so I got to let that one go. Borussia Dortmund, my German city. Julian Brandt is the superstar. Without him, they are nothing. And so I think if you're everybody else, you get rid of Julian Brandt, and I would have to agree.
There you go. Easy choice.
PSG. This is kind of a tricky one.
Another team I haven't followed for some time. I see them once in a while when Champions League comes up until, well, I was going to say until Arsenal gets knocked out, but I still watch. So I have no idea.
Well, all their superstars are gone. Messi's in the United States. Mbappe went to Spain. Neymar's in Saudi Arabia. And so I went with the guy that brought all those guys in. Hold on for me, guys. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Qatari oil man, worth billions and billions of dollars.
I was trying to picture that on the back of a jersey. I was like, what kind of player is that?
Not quite. He bought PSG back in 2012 as part of the Qatari sports investment, and he's got some serious cheese.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, let's make France fun again. Inter Milan. This is tough. This is a tricky one for me. I kind of included my boys on this one, and they were probably right. For those of you that know, you'll agree. But if you haven't seen this player, watch him. He's fantastic. It's Nicolo Barella. He's like the Steven Gerrard of Italy. Always making runs, doing the hard work, scoring goals outside the box. Good player.
I remember him from the World Cup. Rings a bell. So I agree.
Yeah. And the Euros. I think he
yeah.
helped Italy win the Euro with Donnarumma.
I think that's what I was thinking of.
Juventus, you're a strange club, Juventus. You have 18 fairly above average players that you mix together and you get just enough results that you can play in good competitions and compete for titles. I guess Manuel Locatelli, but to be honest, you could have asked the entire starting 11 and they would have found 11 more to replace them.
Some guys from the street. Talking about the old lady like that. Man, Juventus fell off?
They're missing a superstar or two. It's a team sport at the end of the day, so maybe they're doing it right.
All right.
Last European team, you guys. The show might end when I introduce this player, but I have to do it. AC Milan. Can you guess this one?
I can't.
The Americans got it. We don't need
Oh,
Americans in
come on.
European soccer. Come on, who are we kidding? Go back to Dortmund. Christian Pulisic.
He escaped from, the MLS trap, escaped the Chelsea prison of not playing very much and getting injured. And I like seeing him. He's doing well. We can have one guy.
I love you, Pulisic. I'm just having fun. But you are the best thing that's happened to AC Milan in a very long time. So
There you go, Captain America.
yeah. And then finally, we'll close with the World Cup champions getting axed. Starting from the very first one that I watched in 1994. The Brazilians won that one. And we're going to axe for Mario for pretty much everything. His antics, his goal scoring. He was really difficult to manage, according to the manager at the time. And so we don't want that. We wanted the U.S. to win the World Cup anyway, and Brazil beat them. So quickest way to do that.
There you go.
1998, another easy one as well. France beat Brazil in the final 3-0. Some legends scored 2 goals in that game, I believe.
Who dat?
His initials are ZZ.
Zarly Zubul.
He might be right. We don't even need to mention his name. Everybody knows who he is. If he's gone, Brazil wins another World Cup. And yeah. 2002 in Korea and Japan. The Brazilians won it again. This time with a guy with a really cool haircut. That was just this little chunk right here.
Zarly Zubel.
There he is. Known by multiple nicknames, R9,
The phenomenon.
Phenomenon, Fat Ronaldo, according to the kids who know him today. Yeah, Fat Ronaldo, you got to go. 2006, the Italians.
Can I guess this one?
You can guess this one. I'll give you one hint if you want it.
Well, I just thought of a different one. Sure, I'll take the hint. Materazzi, is that his name?
Materazzi is getting next. You can't be saying that stuff about Zidane's family, bro.
Good point. I was thinking the performance again. I thought you were going to say Buffon or Cannavaro.
Buffon was absolutely incredible, and maybe they still win if Zidane takes a PK.
We'll never know.
2010. This is the Spanish dynasty. They won in South Africa. They won a Euro before the World Cup and after.
Does his name start with an X?
It's the other guy, but to be fair, could have been both of them.
Interchangeable. You must be talking about Iniesta.
Yeah, Iniesta. You scored the game-winning goal. You got to go, buddy. Xavi's going to have to do it next time.
I remember that World Cup, my family was in Florida. We only went on like 2 vacations and both were in Florida. And I was like, we're running back to the hotel and we're like, we have to get back. The World Cup finals on. And then I walk into the hotel room, turn the TV on, and they're showing the aftermath from the goal. Not even the celebration and the replays. It was like literally 10 seconds afterwards. I missed that goal.
Just missed.
Burned. It burned. I'm never going to miss another one again.
I would say that only lived with him for the rest of his life. So this is the one I've been looking forward to because there's a lot of guys you could ask here. The 2014 German national team that won in Brazil.
Was this your Aura team from last time?
This is the Aura midfield of 2014. They
So-
put up a touchdown against Brazil.
So is it a midfielder?
It's one of those 6. There's only 6 of them. Do you know which one?
Goetze?
Could have been any, honestly. Goetze with a game-winning goal. Does he get there with the 90 minutes of Bastian Schweinsteiger's endurance runs? Nobody knows. But Schweinsteiger, you got to go. Give Argentina a chance.
Is the engine in the Mannschaft.
Yes, he was. BMW. 2018. The French won in Russia. Who's getting axed from the French team?
Benzema? Giroud?
I'm going with another endurance man. He's a little guy who ran around and won every single tackle.
You're right. Makalele? No, just kidding.
Oh,
N'Golo Kante.
yeah. Conte was
good choice.
amazing that World Cup. I don't think he missed a ball. I don't think he missed a man. He won everything.
Literally runs all game. Great hunter of the ball. I love watching him just like, he knows exactly where they're going to go and he reacts so quick. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, fantastic player. Let me put it this way. Imagine if Pogba had to do that stuff.
Let me put it this way. There's a meme that says 70% of the world is covered with ocean. The rest is covered by N'Golo Kante.
Ain't that the truth? And then the very last World Cup, I told you guys we'd bring it back to this, but in 2022,
I'll put the picture up.
a guy by the name of Emiliano Martinez made a ridiculous save in the 117th minute to keep, or it might have been even later than that. It was at the end of the game. France would have gone up 4-3 at that point. No coming back. But he was able to get like his toenail on it or something, and so.
Oh, it's the right in the middle of his calf. And
Did he get
the
it
tattoo
there?
there. He
Oh.
got the tattoo of the World Cup there because that's where he made the save.
Of course he did. Yeah, Martinez, you're done
For the
twice.
second time today. Wow. That means he's valuable. That means he's a great goalkeeper.
Thank you for participating in our Game of Thrones, everyone. In the comments, tell us who you would axe from your favorite team or your favorite team to cheer against.
Or you can also comment, do you disagree with one of our axings and why? Let us know who the right axe was. We don't always get it right. Nate, thanks for sharing that. Game of Thrones was fun. Should I watch the show?
You need to watch the show. It's just fantastic drama. The acting's amazing. The scenes are brilliant.
I've seen the memes. I know something happened season 8. Would you recommend all the way up to 7 or watch the whole thing?
You know, you could stop after season 7.
And I'd be happy. Like, there's nothing to be resolved that I'm like, oh, what? Well, they ruined it anyway, right?
Well, everything you want resolved won't be in the correct ways.
Okay. I will. I'll pass on that then. Maybe I'll just start a podcast or something. So Nate, part of being on international break is the media needs to do something. So
A lot of news this week, guys.
a lot of news. One piece of news is there was a Premier League referee, maybe not Premier League referee for much longer anymore. I'm not going to say his name, I'm not going to say the club he was talking about, but he was caught on video saying he hates a club and that the manager for that club is a jerk. And I don't think he'll be reffing anymore. But it brings up just a question for me. Nate, are referees human?
Yes, they're 100% human, and
Good answer.
with that, you have feelings and emotions about teams and managers and players, and
Especially when you're dealing with those managers. I think that's part that not everyone understands because they're just seeing him at a party, whatever time of day, talking with probably his mates. You're going to say things, right? But it doesn't mean that in the game with VAR and like millions of people watching,
right.
it seems like that sometimes that maybe he's being biased against that team or for your team as a referee. How dare referees be born in a city and like that football club and then grow up watching that club and then go on to be referees. I think referees get in the game because they like soccer, right? So it's kind of untenable for referees to be expected to just never have seen soccer before or feel anything about the teams that they have been watching their entire life and then just get into pro reffing. I don't get how that works. So yeah, referees are human.
Yeah, we don't want robots.
I'm not excusing anything that referee did on videos or there's more coming out now. I'm not going to get into it. Hey, referees are human, whether you believe it or not. High pressure job, even in youth soccer, right? Imagine that at the highest level in the Premier League. And yeah, you're going to have a favorite team. Doesn't mean you treat people differently.
Right. At least you hope not.
Really hope not. Sometimes, I'm an Arsenal fan. Sometimes I get it. I'm like, whoa, that was a foul. Oh, what? Well, I didn't see you there in my game-worn Bakary Sagna jersey.
Mad respect.
Lots of respect for that man. Another Arsenal man. There's a lot of Arsenal
It's always Arsenal.
energy on this side. There's some over there sometimes too.
One or two guys. Ruben Amorim, please make my team good again.
Don't do it. It's time for extra time. I found some crazy goals for us. Nate, wait till you see these. I've curated quite a collection this week.
I'm excited.
A lot of bicycle kicks. Check this out. Admit it, you would have two. This one's not a goal. This one is... We're just talking about referees. When you have the chance, you do it. Right?
Yeah.
Ball goes out. It's very specific. The ball goes out. You know it's not yours.
Oh.
The referee's right there, and he drops the flag. Nate, are you doing this?
That's a future AR, but it's probably not me.
All right, next one. Here's a curve goal. Check this out.
Oh my.
It goes to the other side of the world and back before it goes into the top corner.
Just snuck in under the crossbar.
Ooh. We have ball goes wide. Winger's got it.
No
hooks
way.
and across.
Oh!
Very unusual bike. He wasn't. His back is facing like the corner flag, and he doesn't go with his far foot. He goes with the near foot. I'm sure it's got some topspin on it to go up and down like that.
Yeah,
The
he
touch.
popped it up first. That's fantastic.
Goalie, no chance. I'm not
Great
expecting
strike.
that as a goalie.
No.
Especially when the ball goes up like that, it's like, oh, he's not shooting for at least 3 seconds, and then pulls off a crazy bike. Look at that. Next one, Leonardo.
Ooh, part of the 98 Brazilian legends.
Juggle, spin and turn.
Ooh.
That's a fun goal. That was one of my go-to moves in high school, was just kicking the ball over people's heads. Like he does it once, settles it, does it again, kind of does it on the turn too. Then to finish it too. Is he left-footed? Never knew
I
that.
think he was.
Still impressive. Good for you. Oh, this one. Check this out. Terrible foul. That's a Lucas Paquetá foul. And yeah, this one doesn't fit. Oh,
No
just
yellow
kidding.
card, though.
Just kidding. This one does fit in the goals. Check this out. Nate, what do you think happens here?
He's going to curl it maybe near post in front of the wall that's not being created.
Yeah, too far for a wall, right? You're not
You
expecting
gotta
him to
think
shoot
so.
this?
Maybe he throws it into one of his teammates and they put a head on it.
Or maybe another bike? No.
Oh,
No bike
that's a
required.
knuckleball for you guys. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to put it up again and post. We're not going to watch it again. That took too long, but Oh my gosh, look at the
That's
curve.
beautiful.
We're imagining the curve right now, right there. Oh, how did he do that? Oh, you'll see in post. Next one, corner kick,
Oh,
flick, and a bike.
no,
There you
that's
go.
nice. What's better, the assist or the goal?
Let me see again. Was he planning this?
I think he
I
set him
think
up.
he's doing that on purpose. That looks like a purposeful touch. He's looking at the ball. Went to his teammate. Yeah,
I'm gonna go assist.
I'm gonna go assist, but take nothing away from the goal. That's crazy. All right, next one. 82-meter attempt incoming. You already know.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, there goes. Oh,
Epic. Who's that? Do you know him?
I don't know any. That's
Bundesliga?
Bundesliga match.
The turn. He already knows the goalies.
Darmstadt, maybe?
Nowhere to be found. And the technique. That is hard. Accuracy.
Paderborn? In any case, great goal.
Passed it to himself and did a bike. We got another bike.
Uh-oh.
What? You won't see this coming.
Come on.
Look at this.
No way.
Lifts it up. Seemingly for
Stop
no
it.
reason. For no reason. I don't know if they're already beating this team, but he looks like he's a pretty handy winger. And then you must not do that when it's 1-1, 0-0. That's probably like a 6-0 kind of. You set yourself up for a bike in the box.
Yeah, that's icing on the cake type goal there.
Good job, though. All right, is this Bundesliga again? Yeah.
Lots of goals in the Bundesliga, guys.
Spin move and then the chip at the end. So artsy. Very artsy.
That was nice.
And this is the thing we talked about effective players last week, right? He's not doing running with the ball and shooting a power shot. He's pirouetting, roulette, and then the little dink over.
Cheeky
Artsy.
chip
Nice.
finish.
That's the fun part of the game. I like that stuff. The finesse.
You think he learned that in rec?
No comment.
It's true.
Bro recreated it. What is he recreating? Right. Ball at half. Oh, I know that goal.
Oh, I know that guy.
Nate, tell the people, what's that goal?
That's a Robin van Persie Netherlands goal there.
I refuse to say his name anymore because he left us for your club, and you don't do
Big
that.
Manchester United guy. I think he won a medal. But
Good
that's
goal.
a nice goal.
Good goal, both of them. I'll admit, both good goals. Let's watch it one more.
Oof.
The bravery too. Goalie's coming out. You don't know where he is. You're looking at the ball.
Get a cleat to the forehead.
Go with a giant spear header. Well done. Me breaking into Bro's house to remind him to put Odegaard back in his fantasy squad as captain. It's Walter White from Breaking Bad. Jesse, waking him up. I had to do that. I did that to myself. I set an alarm on my phone in my calendar actually for that Friday saying put Odegaard back in or to check every week.
Yeah.
He's back.
And
Title
I'm
races in our hands.
sure your points went up.
Here's one Arsenal versus Chelsea, maybe around 2007. Lampard lays it back. Essien.
Oh, so clean. I watched that game live.
Me too. I was a little sad at the time. Not because of the goal, though. That's great technique. I think maybe it shows, in this angle. First of all, I love the EPL ball, the high vis.
Yes.
Look at this. Going out of bounds. Oh, it's not going out of bounds. That's amazing.
That's best goal he ever scored.
Defensive midfielder, everyone. That's like Conte doing that.
Yeah.
Not that he couldn't, but hey, good goal. Next one, we have, I don't know how they videotape these. This is someone's brother. This is Jeremy Doku's brother. Gets a reverse, like backwards meg on this guy at pickup. Pulls it past him, pulls it back through his
brings
legs.
it back towards his own goal, no less.
This is just filthy. Like,
Oof.
when I see a guy do that and put his foot on the ball, I back up because I know that's going to happen.
Here we
This
go.
guy plays futsal every day. He plays Pana. Yeah, I back up. I don't go closer to him. You're going to get megged. That's how you get megged. Oh, an Arsenal meme. Oh,
just about.
2006, 2007.
Oh.
You know, while this plays, Nate, it's fun to be back in the conversation again.
So you are getting close to the top of the stairs again.
Couple dark years in there.
Yep. You could almost put a Manchester United logo on it right now.
We're in 2017. Oh, a little bit higher. 2018, 2019.
Oh, Arteta's there.
2020. Look at this.
Oh, they've got to win it soon, right? This one? This one. Oh,
And then the video cuts out. How do we know what happens? I think we
next
got
spring, guys.
it. This one we got Bend It Like Baker. Nate, who you might be wondering, who's Baker?
Who is Baker?
I think this is a college game. Corner kick.
Is Baker on Hofstra? Oh, that's
Straight
nice.
from the corner, Olympico.
Those
And
are
that's
always
and you see there on the clock. This is why I saved this one. That's in double overtime.
for the win.
Yeah, and I think that was an important game too. And that's why they're going to overtime, right? So second overtime sends
With 2
Pride
minutes
to the
to go.
semifinal. That was a quarterfinal game. There you go. Well done, Baker.
Yes.
You got 2 new fans today.
Way to bend it.
Number 4 was never giving this up.
Uh-oh.
I'm assuming there's 4. 4's
Oh.
coming into the picture.
Come on, 4. Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
We like defending here too. We like the goals. The goals are fun.
I'm
We
raising
like
the
being some
defender.
defender too. Nate,
fun.
I'm actually going to go to my other list. I do have a couple defending clips in
Ooh.
here. I got some more clips for us.
Let's see him.
All right, Nate. First one is Jude Bellingham, the guy you didn't axe from Real Madrid.
I kept him.
Vinny's not doing this. You see, he's so athletic, gets the block
Oh.
there. It's called lockdown defending.
True.
Stays on the ball, no room to breathe. That's just fun to watch. This one I just love because not only does he use the strength, he turns out of it, does a little bit of flair, and then passes a sensible
yeah.
pass to get relief pressure.
Madrid's in possession.
How many misses? We gotta
Oh
watch it
my.
again. Let's count. There's
One,
that guy missed it. 2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5, 6.
7. Oh,
Good job to the camera guy though. That's
stayed with it.
there was one on last week's extra time that had the same camera angle and it was an own goal. So
That's
anything
great.
could have happened there. Let's see, last one. This is just a sweet finish. Again, sweet goal to end it off.
Oh my.
Looks
What
like
was
he's
the
shaping
touch?
it far post. Pulls it away at the last second.
Michael Owen reincarnate.
Oh yeah. See, great through ball.
Speed.
Ben's far post.
Clever
No,
finish.
that's just slick. We like to see that. Yeah, that was extra time. Hopefully you found a goal that you liked. Let's do this. Comment in the comment section. Which bicycle kick was your favorite? I want to know exactly which one. I think for me it's the guy in yellow who did like the, I don't even know what you call that. The outside of the right foot to kind of loop it in.
Loop it in, and the goalie was rooted to the spot.
Oh, but then there was the guy who did the self-serve one in the box.
And that was my favorite. That's what I'd put in the comments.
And then there's the guy who did the flick from behind and the other guy biked it. So yeah, tough choice. Let us know which one was your favorite. All right, scouting report time. I'm excited to hear this. Nate, can you tell us more about your World Cup lottery?
Yeah. So I've created my own FIFA ID now. Sarah and I are planning on taking the family to a city to watch some World Cup games for 2026. For those of you that don't know, and I'm assuming everybody does, but the USA, Mexico, and Canada are all sharing it. So
Mostly the U.S. Let's go.
yeah, first time since 1994, so it should be fun. But you create an ID. Tickets aren't even going to be a thing until 2025 at the earliest. We're still going through qualifications, things like that. And so I got signed up for a lottery, and then based on the city that I make myself available to, in our case, New York, and potentially Philly, where we're staying is driver's distance from either way. But you get put into a lottery, and then they draw. So I'll ask for 5 tickets, and it could be Ghana and Norway, like I talked about earlier, or it could be Brazil versus Spain.
Could it be like a final or a knockout round?
I'm not quite sure how that part goes yet. FIFA didn't really allude to anything more than just creating an ID and going from there. And so I've gone as far as they've let me. But I would love to see the final in New York. That'd be awesome.
That must be a kind of exciting, fun step, is just getting a FIFA ID number, entering the lottery. Just I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to any games. So I vicariously hoping that you get to
We
go.
get a good one.
I hope that you get Spain, France, might I say? Maybe England, US. Those are 2 games I'd watch. Any stadium. But I'm not going. I'm going to be busy with youth soccer in the summer. So I hope you win. Hope it's a big game too.
Yeah, and I'd like to apologize ahead of time, coaches. I will be taking my 3 boys out of the States during that time. So
How dare you? The World Cup. Come on.
Another thing in our scouting report is we like to talk about what we're going to look forward to in the next couple of days or weeks. Charlie, what's something that you're looking forward to?
I've got something come up in the next week, but also for the next several months too. Last week was the international break, so no major leagues were playing. I still had a blast. I got to go to rec soccer for about 10 hours and watch some kids play. So I still had a good weekend, but I missed the memes. There were memes about international break being on, so I enjoyed those. But nothing's quite like watching the best teams in the world play. Not that the international teams aren't the best. I literally didn't watch any though because it's not the title race. I want to watch the English games. So that's what I'm looking forward to. No international breaks, I think, until March. So we're going
We got
straight every week. We're watching
12's
EPL.
week of soccer, everybody.
It's like a Christmas thing.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Did we forget something, Nate?
we might have forgotten some, guys. Our game of the week, you guys.
What are we going to watch, Nate? How would we know what to watch?
The games are back, and we have 3 good ones. One especially for you locals. Minnesota United, MNUFC,
Represent.
are playing in the quarterfinals of the MLS playoffs
Oh, yeah.
against the LA Galaxy on the 24th. So tune in. Let's get that W and continue on, and hopefully we'll bring Minnesota their first MLS Cup.
Let's do it.
And then another exciting game, going back to the Premier League. We know it's most everybody's favorites. Dare I say, Pep might lose his 5th match in a row.
Who are they playing?
Tottenham Hotspurs,
Oh,
who are angry and upset after losing to my team of the week.
angry. Maybe some anger ball, Ange ball.
Uh-oh.
I just made that up. I'm not sure if that's good or if there's something there, but I would actually cheer for Spurs. Not cheer. I'm not going to be cheering. I will be hoping that you get a result. There you go. Am I still good with the Arsenal crowd?
Uh-oh. I guess we'll find out.
Tell us in the comments if I'm still good with you guys.
All right, you guys. And finally, our game of the week. We're going to go to Italy for that, where there's a ridiculous title race going on. There's 6 teams at the top separated by 3 points.
What?
Yeah, 3 points separates the top 6. And then one of my teams in this match is just below them in 7th. It's Milan versus Juventus this weekend.
Ooh.
2 of the best in Italy. So a lot of titles between them.
I'd watch.
If you have some time, Mamma Mia.
No clue about Italian Serie A, but I'd watch that one. That's your game of the week?
That's game of the week, everybody.
I might have
Comment what game you're going to watch down below.
Give us your score predictions for the Italian Classic there. Is that the Classic? Il Classico?
I imagine it would be. The Milan derby obviously is Inter Milan, so I think Juventus and Milan, probably the 2 most successful clubs, you would probably call it that.
2 of the striped teams.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I'm wearing stripes right now. All right, so now you know which games to watch. Tune in, watch pro soccer, watch any soccer. Just watch the game, enjoy the game. We're going to stay tuned to hear about that lottery. Best of luck. Wish Nate and his family good luck. We want them to go to a game so we can talk about it on the podcast. That's the only reason, right?
Right.
Hey, you can follow us on Instagram at Grassroots Champions. You can follow us on X at Grass Champs Pod. You can follow us on YouTube and Rumble at Grassroots Champions Podcast. Join the squad. We'll see you in episode 4.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you
Thanks for
soon.
watching.